my buyers kind of wonder when they're starting to search for homeowners insurance, what should they really be looking for in a policy and with a company, with an agent?
Well, I think the big thing, just beyond making sure that financially that policy makes sense for them, is the service and the transparency that happens with that. A lot of the times people might get into a policy, they have no idea what it's doing for them, they have no idea what's going to happen when they need that insurance company to do something for them. And often people are surprised by details of these things, details such as what is deductible for this, what's covered, what's not covered, how available is my agent when I need them to answer something or to do something. Those are the biggest things, and because I know those are the biggest things, the reason why people end up moving their insurance somewhere else or being really upset about something is those are the big things that we focus on here at this agency. There for our clients, we make sure that we're explaining what people have so they're not surprised by anything in that respect. And just overall just taking care of people.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's what, people come to me, what's covered, what's not covered. We have a lot of hail in Colorado. Is that something that's covered under my policy or not covered? Are there things that they should be looking for that would be covered or not covered?
Well, I would definitely say that as a general note, when you're talking about what's covered and what's not covered, when it comes to hail, it's always important to know that you understand what your deductible is. And, even just understand that there are times of years when you can adjust your deductible. A lot of people don't know that. So right now we're in hail season, people should have a lower, more reasonable deductible. But once we're out of hail season, maybe you don't need a crazy high, crazy low deductible. Raise it up and save a little bit of money. That's kind of a calculated risk some people take. But as far as like what's covered and what's not covered, some of the details come down to how it's covered. So there's things like placement costs that are important to know. Placement cost is considering that that's what it's going to cost to replace it. Basically, it's silly to define it with its own very own words. But that's what it basically is. Anything else is a depreciated value. So whether it says it's a scheduled payment or actual cash value or depreciated value, that's basically the insurance company's way of saying, we're going to cut you a much lower check for this damage because evaluating it based on it's depreciated because of age. And then another big thing that is important to understand when you're talking about claims that may or may not be covered is that it comes down to water damage. And that could be a completely different video that we could do at some point because there's a whole gambit of things that could happen water damage wise, and some of it's covered and some of it's not. So that's definitely a conversation I have with all my clients, making sure they understand the general nature of, okay, this would generally be covered, this wouldn't be. So then again, so there's no surprises.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like having a great agent, somebody that you're comfortable with communicating it with is huge to get those questions answered as things come up, along the homeownership timeline. So.
Right. It'd be similar things if somebody just said, hey, I'm going online and I'm not using an agent and I'm just trying to do my own home buying process on my own. You can do it, but you lose a lot of the advocacy that you get having a person managing. And that's exactly what we're here.
Yeah, exactly. We're advocates for our clients and have that responsibility for their best interests. So I have to ask you, so what kinds of habits or hobbies have you picked up during this lockdown and want to continue into the future?
Well, I think one of them is spending a little more time reading, kind of focusing on there's certain times when I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to read, whether it's something for fun or something for my professional development, anything like that. And then one other thing is exactly what we're doing right here, is it really kind of brought to mind that this is a fast and pretty easy way relatively to get connected with a lot of people, get information out there, and do some videos with people, and just because we can't maybe be side by side and doing this in person doesn't mean it doesn't have to happen at all. So, getting familiar with some of the technology and everything associated with that has been a learning curve, but I'm glad I've done it, and this is something I definitely want to continue to do.
Yeah, excellent. I see it continuing in real estate too, for for the long haul. I mean, it's such a time saver for folks too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That's some really informative information, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with my clients.
You're very welcome. I appreciate your time.